Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, and this is another visit to the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny fun.
Now, welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully you like this video and subscribe. And the only reason I do videos on WFAN is because I don't really like the fact that they've been criticizing the Mets for a very long time, and they've been very unfair. But I see they're kind of like taking a step back. They took a step back really since I've been hammering them of the last year and a half. But I would mention, before we get into this video, which I think is kind of funny, this video makes me laugh. The comments of the crazy guy in the morning makes me laugh. A subscriber, been writing to me for the past week, since last Wednesday, telling your host that Sal Licata had been complaining about your host on the air, saying that I should call the radio station if I have the guts. Now, I listened to the program from last Wednesday, and I could not find anyone asking him about calling me out. Okay, if anybody has heard that, please let me know. The person that had told me this person that had subscribed, I believe he lied to me. And I did not take the bait. I was not going to go and write and call somebody because I'm very busy. I can't be wasting my time waiting on a phone call that might not get picked up from the call monitor. But he had written to me. I told him on Monday that and he said, I'll call. I said, all right. And ask Sal about it and remind him. So, okay. Well, he had written to me late last night telling me, I saw it this morning, telling me that Sal said that I should stop sending people to call the radio station. Now, I only said that to have him call because if you're going to call, and then I told him I will listen after 1 o'clock in the car when I'm going home. So I was out off yesterday. So I told him I'll listen to the radio, which I did, and I listened to it on my phone through their app. I don't have the app, but I was listening to the show. I listened to the last hour and 15 minutes of the show. I told the subscriber when to call. He did not call. So when he wrote to me last night, I was like, well, I don't know what he's talking about. I was like, well, I listened yesterday, and there was nothing there. And I did not hear the person that had called, that had been writing to me. There was no mention of your host at all. And he wrote back and said, you know what? It was the screen caller telling me that. So I don't like being lied to. He basically got blocked because I'm not dealing with people that are going to lie to me. But I will say, if anybody has listened, specifically on last Wednesday's program of Sal Licata and Brandon Tierney, and you heard them mention the Baseball Hut over the last few days, please let me know and send me the link. Just go into their Odyssey.com website or app and send it to me here, okay? I'm not going to go looking through it, and I listened to the entire show last Wednesday. I had it on speed, and they were talking fast. I didn't hear anything about your host. So, I have no problem, believe me, I have no problem calling the radio station. To make fun of, to talk to them. Believe me, I have no fear of that. It's just annoying where I live because the signal's not great here. But anyway, let's get on with the show. What's this video about? Headline from Odyssey. Gio, Mets fans get ready to have haters all season long. Let me read this again. This is from Greg Giannotti. Mets fans get ready to have haters all season long. Well, they've had haters for 35 years from your radio station. After listening to MLB Network's Howard Reynolds question the potency of the Mets lineup when talking with BT, AK the Coconut, and Sal the Spaz Licata on Tuesday, Gregory had an epiphany. After being the lovable underdog story a year ago, the Mets are now, along with the Dodgers, the team that everyone will love to hate now that Steve Cohen splurged for Juan Soto. Quote, this is something we're going to have to deal with all year long, and that's fine, Gregory said. It's what happens when a team spends a lot of money and makes a lot of big splashes. okay? The Mets are going to have haters all year long. They hated them all last year. They hated them all last year until they won it in Atlanta and in Milwaukee. The fun, love, OMG, Jose Iglesias Mets are dead. Now everyone's going to come out of the woodwork. Maybe not as much as the Dodgers, but the Mets are that team that everyone's going to want to poke holes in now because Steve Cohen is spending the money. You've been trying to poke holes in them for 4 years since they've been doing this channel. For 4 years. This is WFAN. Being a big market team in New York that now boasts 2 MVP candidates in Soto and Francisco Lindor, or boasting a rich free spending owner like Cohen, Gio says the Mets have now become a team that fans outside of the city love to hate, and much of the year will be spent with fans preying on New York's downfall. Are you kidding me? Is this guy like for real? Mets fans buckle up because there's going to be haters everywhere. That's all we deal with. What is he talking about? Could someone explain to me what this lunatic is talking about? I've been doing videos on them for over a year and a half. I've been sort of following them for 35 years. For the last 4 years, they've been attacking Steve Cohen. The second he bought the team, they said he was cheap. They said he was cheap last offseason. A month into the offseason, they were complaining that it was a failed offseason if they didn't sign Juan Soto. Sal Licata said that. Then when they signed him, well, if you don't sign Pete Alonso, it's a failed offseason. Then he switched and changed his mind, said, you know what? You don't want Pete back because you know what? Pete's going to be mad and it's going to be a bad relationship. Duh. Are you kidding me? This is the same group of guys and individuals on WFAN when they started breaking the team up in 2023, doing nothing but pissing and moaning and making up stories about the club. This is the same group of individuals that in 2022 or 2021, Boomer Esiason threatened to not go to Citi Field if he didn't learn about the business stealings of Steve Cohen. Are you kidding me? They're the biggest haters in the world. And I would mention, are they begging me to call their radio station? You don't want that, trust me. You don't want that. Because I'm liable to say anything and embarrass them. I can talk about anything. Because I noticed they don't talk about certain things in sports. We'll leave it at that. But anyway, this is like the biggest farce. Buckle up, because the hate is going to be everywhere. The second, when the Mets had a 5-game losing streak last year, they were calling for them to trade Edwin Diaz. Now, I was one of the last to sort of start complaining about the club. But I was one of the first that said, look, give them a chance to see what happens. But these guys, when they got off to an 0-5 start, they were ready to rip into them like you could not imagine. They loved it. Because they know their audience are self-hating Met fans and a lot of Yankee fans who hate the Mets. Okay? The second the Mets have any kind of a 1-game losing streak, these assholes will be complaining. And this is another visit to the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. To the funny part.